afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of East Point Group of Institutions, I, Dr. Samantha, Faculty, East Point College. To formally start the program. To formally start the program, I call upon Dr. Prakash S., Senior Vice President, East Point Group of Institutions, to welcome the guests.
Thank you, Dr. Samantha. Firstly, on behalf of East Point Group of Institutions, I extend you a heartily welcome. With the blessings of our founder chairman, Shri Venkatpati ji, I consider it as a great honor to welcome all the great personalities. All are sitting on the dais. On behalf of East Point Group of Institutions, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome our chief guest, Honorable Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia, Minister, Civil Aviation, Government of India. Sir, it's a great privilege and honor. Let me read the brief profile of our Honorable Minister today. Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia is currently, sir. You have to cut the profile, huh? Okay, fine. Yeah, it's a message that we don't want to introduce this profile. He is known to everybody here. Welcome with a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Fine. Yeah, fine. And we have our youth icon, Tejasvi Surya sir. We welcome you, we follow you too much. Our students are very crazy about you on the social media. We welcome you, sir. We welcome all the students, my teaching fraternity, and all the people here. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia, sir, Honorable Prime Minister for Civil Aviation, Government of India, to address the audience. Knowledge removes ignorance just as light removes darkness. Hence we light the lamp to bow down to knowledge as the greatest of all forms of wealth. The program will be inaugurated by lighting the lamp. I request the dignitaries to light the lamp.
A louder round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
The sole reason for existence of East Point Group of Institutions is attributed to sheer hard work and dedication of our late chairman, Dr. S.M. Venkatpati, without whose perseverance, the pillars of this institution would not have been as they are today. I request the dignitaries to offer floral tribute to our beloved chairman. Thank you, dignitaries. I request Shri Tejasvi Surya, Honorable Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha and National President of Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha to address the gathering.
Bharat Mata Ki. Yelrugu Namaskara. A very good afternoon to all of you. Many of you may have already noticed that the Honorable Chief Guest, the Honorable Minister for Civil Aviation, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, literally ran up to the dais because we are in such a tearing hurry, because he has a flight to catch at 2:30. We have to finish the program here and rush to the airport because the earlier meeting got delayed. I do not want to come between you and Scindia ji because he has come all the way from Delhi to just speak to all of you. I want to take just 2 minutes to do two things. One, to open the context for today's conversation, and two, of course, to thank him and thank all of you for putting this whole thing together. Friends, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 30-35 ದಿವಸದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ದಿಕ್ಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲೂ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಜನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಮ್ಮ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವ್ರು ನಾವಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, ನಾವು ಗಾಡಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಸುವಂತ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾವು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋವಂಥ, ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋವಂಥ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಾವು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್ನ ಒಂದು ಊಟದ ಬಿಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, whether it is social, economic, cultural, political, all aspects of our life is directly, indirectly, in some way or the other influenced by politics. So ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. Which is why it is very important to make an informed decision on the kind of leadership that we will choose for both the state and the country. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶ ಇವತ್ತು ಮುನ್ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ರಾಜ್ಯ ಹೇಗೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸುವಂತ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ವಿಮಾನಯಾನ ಸಚಿವರು, ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಏವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರಾದಿತ್ಯ ಸಿಂಧಿಯಾ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ನಾನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 2014 ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ there was only 2 functional airports in Karnataka. We had Bangalore and Mangalore airport. Thanks to the leadership of the Prime Minister and the effort of Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, Karnataka today has the distinction of having the highest number of functional airports in India for any state. Every 150-200 kilometers we have a new airport. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ 150 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈಸೂರು, ಮಂಗಳೂರು, ಹುಬ್ಳಿ ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬೀದರು, ಕಲಬುರ್ಗಿ, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ, ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗ. Every 250 kilometers there is a new airport. ಅದು ಹಿಂದೆ ನಮಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದ್ರು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರಾದಿತ್ಯ ಸಿಂಧಿಯಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸಲ್ಲತ್ತೆ. ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಅವರ ಮಾತನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೇಳೋಣಂತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ದೇಶದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಚಿವರು, ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಸಚಿವರು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಂವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಕೌಂಟಬಿಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಸೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೌ ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಮೋಕ್ರಸಿ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಸ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I thank him once again and welcome all of you to this program. Thank you East Point College for hosting us. Elrigu kuda namaskara. I request Scindia ji to speak and to address all of us. Thank you, sir.
Seated on the dais with me, my young friend and colleague in Parliament, a representation of the power of youth and the power of change that our country can position in the world. Member of Parliament Tejasvi Surya ji, brothers in arms, a filial family bond, but a bond that is committed to the most important seed of change that can transform not only Bangalore, transform not only Karnataka, transform not only the country, but really transform the world. And that's the area of education. And our two young brothers present on the stage, Rajiv and Pramod Gowda ji, who are committed to the cause of a resurgent Bangalore, a resurgent Karnataka, a resurgent India. Members of the faculty before me, and most importantly, my young friends my brothers and sisters, who represent not only the future of Bangalore, not only the future of Karnataka, not only the future of India, but who I firmly believe from the bottom of my heart represent the future of change that is about to hit the world as a tsunami, my young friends present here this morning. Let me at the outset thank East Point College of Engineering, Rajiv and Pramod, for having given me this opportunity to engage with the future of our country. Whenever I have an opportunity to engage with our youth, I look forward to that opportunity for two reasons. The first is because it brings me abreast with the capability of our nation for the future. It brings me abreast with what the future brings, the aspirations of what the future is. And the second, where along with the future, it takes me back in time to my college days. Those were very seminal days, very free days, days when one could explore without inhibition, without constraints, days when aspirations ran very high, where everything was within our grasp and our reach. And therefore, those are days that I remember very fondly. Whether it was my days of education in school, my days spent at undergraduate at Harvard University, my days at business school at Stanford University, and those are the days that you are in the labyrinth of. These are the days that you will be seeding the seeds of your career, your future. These are the days that you will be forming bonds that will become, I certainly hope, for you, that may become even stronger than your own family bonds, with your friends, your associates, inseparable bonds that will be formed. And therefore, it gives me great pleasure to be amongst the East Point College of Engineering in Bangalore City today. I'm going to make a couple of opening comments, and then I'd love a dialogue with all of you as opposed to a monologue. Times are a-changing, my friends. India is on the rise. India has changed in the last 9 years. India has risen as a phoenix onto the global stage. And I'd like to talk about that metamorphosis, that change, that chrysalis that India has undergone in the last 9 years. What India was 9 years ago and what she has become today. And because I am in the Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, first of all, I'd like to pay my obeisance and my salutations, Namma Bengaluru. You are the epicenter, you are the seed, you are the fountain of technological change. The Silicon Valley of India. And when we talk about the Silicon Valley of India, Let's talk about the technological change that has taken place in India. In a country where we did not have a single one of these boxes, in a country where we still used to communicate from the PCO box and the STD box, today India has over 1.5 billion cell phones, the largest market for cell phones in the world. In a country that was never connected, in a country that did not have access to internet, computers and internet were the domain of a select elitist 20 to 24 crore population out of 130 crore. In the last 9 years, that connectivity has grown threefold, and today connectivity has become all-pervasive under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with 85 crore connections across the length and breadth of India. In the last generation, I won't tell you how old I am, but for you and me in the last generation, access to capital was a fundamental constraint. जंजीर थे जिसके आधार पर हम लोग जकड़े जाते थे. Our growth was hampered by that lack of access to capital. Today capital has become fungible. Money is chasing good ideas, and good ideas come from you. But the one constraint that you are facing was the access to knowledge, access to information. And that platform has been made horizontal, all-pervasive, from elitist to an egalitarian regime, where everyone has been brought onto the same level by Prime Minister Modi, by access to the internet, access to information, and where knowledge and information, the cost of 1 GB of data used to be 300 rupees. Today that one cost of 1 GB of data is only 13 rupees, reduced by 96% in India, making that access all pervasive across the length and breadth of our country. So that is one transformation that has happened. We've had the industrial revolution. We've had the manufacturing revolution. And due to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we've had the information revolution in India. But along with that information revolution, the access to capital for every single Indian. There were millions in our country that did not even have a bank account. There used to be a former Prime Minister, and I will not take his name, because समझदार को इशारा काफी है, and you're all engineering students, who used to say that the central government is sending 100 rupees, but only 15 rupees reaches the poor, reaches the needy, reaches the youth. 85% is eaten up by corruption along the way. And for the first time in the history of India, you had a Prime Minister who said, "Na khaunga, na khaunga aur na khane dunga." And we have a Prime Minister who says, makes a statement. ऐसे कई नेता होते हैं, ऐसे कई प्रधानमंत्री होते हैं, जो सपने दिखाते हैं, लेकिन आज भारत में एक ऐसा प्रधानमंत्री है जो भारत के सपने नहीं लेकिन विश्व के सपनों को साकार करके दिखाता है। And in the last 9 years, close to 49 crore Jan Dhan accounts have been created. Those people, those poor people, needy people, my Matra Shakti, my Mahilas who did not have a bank account, access to bank account, 49 crore bank accounts have been created. And through the creation of those bank accounts, 27 lakh crore of rupees have been transferred at the stroke of the pressing of one single button directly into those 49 crore bank accounts. No intermediary. No bicholi, no Bhashtachar. Today when the Prime Minister of India presses the button of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi on the day of Holi, 16,000 crores as the kish, the installment is directly transferred into the account of 11 crore farmers across the length and breadth of this country. That is the IT revolution. That is the digital revolution created by those who walked these halls and these corridors of this college before you. That is the digital power of India. That is the IT power of India. And so along with that first revolution comes the second revolution. When those auzars, those weapons for constructive activity are given in your hands, with those weapons of constructive activity comes the revolution of entrepreneurial capability across the length and breadth of India. Now it's not to say that startups didn't exist before 2013-14. Yes, they did. That capability has always been in India. We are the country that invented the zero, Aryabhatta. We are the country that produced nuclear power. But in a country that in 13-14 had only 416 startups, today it is that very same country that boasts of 84,012 startups along the length and breadth of this country. Startup India was a mission started by Prime Minister Modi. Many political parties criticized it. But it is the quality of leader in the face of criticism also to stand steadfast, to empower the youth of our country to stand tall and rise in the world stage, and that is what Prime Minister Modi has done for the Indian youth. 416 to 84,012 to be exact. In 2013-14, we had one unicorn in India. Today we have 115 unicorns in India. तालियां थोड़ी कम बजी. मैं बताता हूं क्यों. Because I took the reference of 115 unicorns in India. But out of those 115 unicorns, 39 are based in Bengaluru. So you are the seed of the unicorn capital of our country. And along with that, you are seeing a flurry of investments coming into India. Today we talk about the FANG economy. Two of the largest IT companies in the world have Pravasi Bharatiyas as their CEO, Satya Nadella and Sundar Pichai ji. And the other two, Amazon and Google and Apple, both have their largest markets coming from India. That is the power of the entrepreneurial capability. And as the Prime Minister has said, and I quote, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, today people do not see government as an obstacle. Rather, people see our government as a catalyst and a facilitator for new opportunities, unquote. And therefore we in government today must play the role of not a controller, not a regulator, but we play the role of an enabler and a facilitator. Because in your success lies the government's success. In your success lies the country's success. And it would not be an exaggeration for me to say, in your success, today lies the world's success. The third pillar in revolution is the mainstreaming of development. Development today is not limited to big cities like Delhi and Bombay and Calcutta and Bengaluru and Hyderabad. Development in entrepreneurial capability has shifted to Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And almost close to 49% of our Indian startups are coming from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Along with that, the final pillar, the fourth pillar, which is rudimentary and seminal to India's growth and India's rise on the world stage, is the development of infrastructure. And look at the rapid rise, the rapid growth of infrastructure in our country. Never thought of before. We used to be used to seeing highways in Germany, highways in the US, highways in China. In a country that had only 75,600 kilometers of highway, today the Narendra Modi government in 9 years has doubled that to 1.5 lakh kilometers of highway. Today, $10 billion worth of cell phone exports happened from India. 50% by Apple, $5 billion. 50% by Samsung, $5 billion. My own department, Civil Aviation. Tejasvi alluded to it briefly. But look at the growth in a state like Karnataka. Karnataka, there had only 2 airports. 2 functioning airports. In a matter of 9 years today has 10 functioning airports across the length and breadth of Karnataka. From Mysuru and Bengaluru to start with, to Mangaluru, Belgavi, Hubli, Vidyanagar, Bidar, Shimoga, Kalburgi, Hindustan Aeronautics, 10 airports across the length and breadth of Karnataka that are functioning airports. And along with that, if you look at the metro connectivity, we had only 7 kilometers of metro connectivity in Bengaluru. In a matter of 9 years, that has grown 9-fold to 70 kilometers of metro connectivity in Bengaluru. And that is the same story in Chennai, in Delhi, in Mumbai. And therefore, that huge growth as progressive cities, building a network of infrastructure, a network of airports, In the area of civil aviation, in 65 years, Congress governments only built 74 airports in this country. In 9 years, under PM Modi's government, we have built an additional 74 airports, waterdromes and heliports. Today we are 148 in the country. And I guarantee you that in the next 5 years, we as a country will cross 200 airports, waterdromes and heliports. I was just at a conference of advanced air mobilities, a term that you will understand as engineers. eVTOLs, electrical vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. I told them to not call it eVTOLs. I told them don't call it advanced air mobility. Call it advanced short haul aircrafts and make it an acronym. And that acronym will be ASHA, which stands for Asha. Give it an Indian word worldwide. Asha, that stands for hope. Asha, that stands for aspirations. Asha, that stands for a dream. And I guarantee you that the concept of eVTOLs and the concept of Asha will become a reality in our generation in the next 5 years in India. So India is moving at an accelerated pace. But in that movement, your participation and your yogdan is a fundamental part of that journey. Youth have always brought about transformations across the world. And therefore, if that change has to happen in India, where India re-attains her position at the premier place on the global stage, with Prime Minister's notion of one earth, one family, one future. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Your role becomes even more important. You are driven by passion, you are driven by purpose. And therefore you must become a part of this movement. The future is you. And to you, I implore, I advise, look at the 50-60 formula. And what is the 50-60 formula? 60% of our working population is youth. But on the one hand, where 60% of our working population is youth, 50% of India's power is our Matra Shakti. And if we want India to progress, can she progress on the basis of 50% of our population? Can she? And therefore, Mahila Sashaktikarana Vakt ki awaaz hai. Women empowerment is the need of our nation today. And that is why the Prime Minister is concentrating on youth and women empowerment. Today it is our pride that the President of this country is a lady from our tribal population. President Murmu, who has a dream and a vision also for our country, who guides us along the way. And therefore you have to become a part of the political process. Many a time when I go to youngsters, many a time they say we are apolitical. Rajniti se hamara koi lena dena nahi. We cannot be apolitical. Because the political environment affects us. It affects our future. It affects the career choices we make. It affects our families. And therefore you must participate in the political future of our country by making the right choice. And the one thing that I'd like to urge you all, my young friends, is you must become a part of that democratic process. We are today the world's largest democracy. The right to cast your vote is a fundamental right that Mother India has given us. Whichever part of the country we come from, we must vote on the day of voting. The right to exercise your franchise is a fundamental right because you and I decide our future. You and I decide who will lead us for the next 5 years. You and I decide in whom we have faith, in whom we have belief, in whom we have trust. And that trust, belief and faith does not come from speeches alone, must come from the antaratma. ये दिमाग का खेल नहीं है मेरे भाई और बहनों, ये दिल का रिश्ता है, दिल का संपर्क है, और किसी का विश्वास जीतना और उस विश्वास पर खड़े उतरना सबसे महत्वपूर्ण चुनौती है. Which is why our Prime Minister always says, सबका साथ, सबका साथ, सबका विश्वास. और अगर सबका साथ और सबका विकास करना है, if everyone must walk together, if we have to see all round development, अगर सबका साथ और सबका विकास हमारा लक्ष्य है, तो सबका विश्वास जीतना है. और अगर सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास अगर जीतना है, तो फिर सबका प्रयास होना चाहिए. It is the collective, it is the effort of 130 crore Indians working together with the one goal in mind, to ensure that Bharat Mata rises under the leadership of Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi, that we will attain the #1 position in the global order of nations. And here I will quote Shri Aurobindo, who once said, and I quote, and listen to these words, "The future belongs to the young. The future belongs to the young. It is a young and new world which is now under the process of development. And it is the young who must create it. But it is also a world of truth. It is a world of courage. It is a world of justice. It is a world of lofty aspirations which we seek to create. A brave, frank, courageous and aspiring youth is the only foundation on which that future nation can be built," unquote. So our time is now, my friends. Our time is now, when there is a vacuum in the world, when there is a potential to change the rising face of the global world order. And India is on that path. In the period of COVID, when 65 years we had to import vaccines, not a single vaccine would be created in India. In that environment, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, India created not one, but innovated and created two vaccines in this country. Two vaccines with which 200 crore vaccinations were done. A new record. Countries like the US and Europe had not doubly vaccinated their population, but India had doubly vaccinated her population. And doubly vaccinated her population, not like advanced countries on the basis of money, dollars and euros that were paid, had doubly vaccinated her population completely free of cost That is the Mother India that is standing tall today. A country that could never produce vaccines, with the Prime Minister's vision of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. A country that used to go with a begging bowl internationally for vaccines. झोली फैलाकर भारत जाता था कि हमको वैक्सीन दे दो, स्मॉल पॉक्स, BCG. वही देश, the same country, exported vaccines to 100 countries across the world. That is the new India. The new India today, who could never dream, who could never think that an India that would be holding the presidency of the G20. Today, under Prime Minister's leadership, India is holding the presidency of G20 in India. The 20 biggest economies in the world, 85% of GDP, 70% of the world's population, 30% of the world's trade. Today those people are coming to India and not coming to Delhi, not coming to Mumbai, not coming to Bengaluru and Chennai and Kolkata, but going to 55 cities across the length and breadth of India. This is the power of India that has been extolled on the world stage. And therefore, you and I, and more you than I, in our journey, Rajiv, Pradeep, Tejasvi and all of you, India's journey from Amrit Kal, 75 years of our Amrit Mahotsav of independence, our journey from Amrit Kal to Shatabdi Kal, 2047, where India was number 11 in terms of India's economic prowess on the world stage in 13-14. In just 9 years, we have gone from number 11 to becoming the 5th largest economic power in the world. And who have we displaced? We have displaced that England, that United Kingdom, that had the dream of ruling us for 20 years. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has relegated UK to number 6 position, and India is at number 5 position today. And look at the irony. That country that had the dream of ruling us, today the Prime Minister of that country is a Pravasi Bharatiya in the name of Rishi Sunak. तालियां थोड़ी कम बजी. मैं बताऊं क्यों? Shall I tell you why? क्योंकि ये दिल मांगे मोर. And I commit to you, we are today ladies on the first floor, the world's 5th largest economic powerhouse. By 2030, with my Matra Shakti being part of this revolution, I commit to you today that by 2030, we will go ahead of Germany and Japan and become the 3rd largest economic power in the world. So today I want to implore you, I want to request you, be a part of this revolution. It is you who can create this revolution. It is you who can bring about this change. And I firmly believe that today from this auditorium, from this college, East Point College, Engineering College, let's send a signal to the world. Let's tell the world that we will bring it on for the world in the coming decade. And if you agree with me, raise your hands with me. clench your fists. Do you agree with me? If you agree with me that we will bring it on, will we bring it on? Will we bring it on? Up there, Meri Matra Shakti, all of you, the lady in the pink, on the first floor, my friend in the pink, put the camera down for a second and raise your hands. Raise your hands. I will not say it until you raise your hands. Raise your hands up high in the air. Clench your fists, all of you here. Green shirt, both your hands. Clench your fists and say with me, Bharat Mata Ki. Bharat Mata Ki. Bharat Mata Ki. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words.
Okay, one question now, quickly. Anyone has a question for me? Okay, we've got one hand up here. Got one hand. Okay, I'm going to go here. Matra Shakti. So before you ask your question, I want your name, what stream of engineering you're in, and what is your dream?
Thank you for coming today, sir. I am Dishita of Medicine, EP, MS and RC. My question for you today, Dishita. And I'm from East Point College of Medical Sciences and Research Center. I'm studying first year in MBBS. My question for you is, what is the relevance of my dream is to become a surgeon and provide free healthcare for all people, free healthcare. For all people, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, religion, it shouldn't matter to me. I should be at that position. My question today for you is, what is the relevance of NOTA in our government? NOTA. NOTA option.
So let me tell you, Rishita. First of all, let me congratulate her and give her a loud round of applause for what her ambition and her dream is. This is why India has that capability and power in the world. Because we want to bring about social transformation that will uplift not ourselves, but will uplift the nation. Now her question is, what is the relevance of NOTA today in electoral politics? I believe that, first of all, it's been 20 years for me in what I call public service. And I think it's important mentally to make that distinction when we involve ourselves in this area. There are many in life, Dishita, for whom politics becomes a goal. And public service only becomes the means to achieve that end. In life, when you set your aspirations, when you set your goals, it's very important to ask yourself the question why. Dishita has very clearly articulated what she wants to become. A surgeon. But she has also very clearly articulated why she wants to become a surgeon. To help those that are in need. And therefore for all of us, whether you pursue engineering, whether you pursue medical science, whether you pursue social causes, whether you pursue business, it's very important for you to decide the difference between the goal and the means. My father once told me, and I never understood it until I went through a very turbulent time in my life when I lost my father in a plane crash, what he truly meant when he said this, and I'm going to say this in Hindi and I'll translate it for you. He said, Yaad rakhna, कि जीवन में लक्ष्य कभी भी राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए। जीवन में लक्ष्य जनसेवा होना चाहिए और राजनीति केवल एक माध्यम होनी चाहिए उस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति करने के लिए। The goal in life must never be politics. The goal in life must always be public service. And politics must only be confined to the means of achieving that goal. And she is a wonderful exposition of that. Her goal in life is public service, and being a surgeon is a means of achieving that goal. And so in India, if we get people whose mind necessarily is not in the right place, but certainly those people whose heart is in the right place, then you will never have to ever think about the option of exercising the nota option. Thank you. One more question and then I'll have to rush.
No, she is thinking why.
Namaste sir, I'm Suvin. I'm one of Tejasvi sir's program student. So my question is, no, he happens to be my boss actually. Yes, but more of a mentor and my brother. Yes.
Okay, so this is the other mistake that we make. This is the other mistake we make. In life, always remember, no one is the boss. We are partners. And this is another lesson for you in life. When you emerge as leaders, what's your name? Yash. When Yash emerges as a leader, what are you doing? Third year MBBS. Becomes a doctor, like Dishta. He will head a hospital. He'll have a team of doctors with him. You're not asking a question. When he becomes a leader, always remember in life that you're only as strong as the weakest link in your team. So always strengthen your team. And you're never a boss, you're a partner. You have your own family. The people you work with are also your family. And when you develop that bond with the people you work with, that is the spirit that you will create, which will lead you to much more further success. Thank you. Sorry, he had a question.
Thank you sir for explaining it so good. Yes. I'll end it quick. So the opposition keeps on telling that we only support monopolies or single individuals who can be in the telecom. But I have personally, telecom or the turnkey projects like ports, Adani, they keep screaming that doesn't make sense, sir. Because I have an evidence that be it in your industry, especially steel, there is nothing such as cluttered market. Even SAIL, that is Steel Authority, is equally competing with all the privatization companies, and I don't see why these allegations are being made pointlessly. That's what's your view, sir?
So, always remember, दुनिया में और जिंदगी में you will always encounter सकारात्मक लोग and नकारात्मक लोग. It's a part of life. Way back in Mahabharata and Ramayana also you had. कई लोगों की, there are two types of people. I'm getting a lot of pressure here, but there are two types of people in life. There is one type of people. What's your name? Suraj. Suraj. कि सूरज ने लकीर खींच दी. Little bit Hindi, you can get it? Okay. Suraj draws a line. मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं सूरज से आगे निकलूं. तो कैंकड़ों वाली आदत, crab mentality. What do? I don't work hard. I will catch Suraj's legs and pull him back to my position. कि आगे कैसे निकल गए? पीछे आओ. That's one mentality of people. The other mentality of people is कि सूरज ने अगर लकीर खींच दी, मेरा संकल्प है, my aspiration and my goal, कि मैं सूरज से ज्यादा लंबा लकीर खींच के छोड़ दूंगा. A productive India is that India, an India that will advance, an India that will be unshackled, an India that will not think regressively, an India that will advance progressively. And that change has come, my friends, in India. In the last 9 years, India has risen across every spectrum of life, and as the Prime Minister says, this decade and this century belongs to you. Make India proud of the way Bharat Mata should. Thank you very much for having me.